Masters, my dear gods, namaste to all. Welcome to the 21 days holistic wellness program, day 18. We are in day 18. And my sincere pronouns to my beloved Guruji, Brahmarshi Patriji. Friends, today our topic is about the six laws of spiritual science. We are going to detailedly, we are coming to know, we are trying to discuss about the spiritual science in the form of spiritual laws. Six spiritual laws of, particularly today, we'll be concentrating on the subject. So we'll try to understand every law in a detailed way, my dear friends. Before going to the subject, let's understand our entire life. So whatever we are leading the day-to-day life, my dear friends, if you try to understand, without knowing the spiritual science, if you are leading your life, how it will be. So most of the times we are leading our life in a very blind manner. It means we have no answers for many questions, and we do not know who are we and why we born here, and what is my life and what is the other's life, why I'm suffering with this kind of a lifestyle, why I'm suffering with so many difficulties, so many problems in day-to-day life. At the same time, so what is the death? What is beyond death? What life before death? Life after death? And there are many questions, unanswered questions in everybody's life. And day-to-day life, we also get many challenges. Many challenges we'll get. So for those questions also, we don't have answers with us. We have no answers for all those things. So if you don't understand this spiritual science, the spiritual science is a superior science for all the other sciences, my dear friends. If you try to understand all other sciences, all material sciences, can be physical science, chemical science, biology, whatever it may be, all other science, astronomy, aeronautics, whatever it is. Compared to all other sciences, the spiritual science is the superior science. It's the only one science. It's also called life science. Adhyatmika Shastra, Adhyatmika Gnana is a Jivana Shastra, my dear friends. If you don't understand this, your life will be always in a difficult state. Your life will be always in a miserable state. If you don't understand the true spiritual science, you can never enjoy your life on this physical planet, physical earth. So that's what we need. That is why it's so important that everybody must understand the spiritual science, the only one science, the most important and superior science out of all other sciences, all other shastras. So that is why this is defined as a shastra. Shastra means for everything there is the proof, there is the clear evidence for everything. It is defined with the principles, my dear friends. Shastra is not that some illusion, or it's a kind of it's not like something like illusion or nothing. Everything is defined with a particular principles. That's why we call it as a shastra. So this Adhyatmika Shastra, so every one of us must understand in a deeper sense. So then only we can lead our life joyfully and blissfully. We can get answers to many of our questions. Everyone in their life has got their own questions, my dear friends. If you observe, you may be a business person or a housewife or a student or whatever you are into, any profession, whatever the profession you are into, but you have your own questions in your life. So to get the question, all the answers to all your questions, you have to understand the spiritual science in all the deeper sense. You need to understand. That is why we need to study the spiritual science in absolute manner. So otherwise, what will happen is our life will be something like blindfolded. We are leading our life blindfolded, my dear friends. It means we are a blind person. We don't know where we are going and what kind of where we are walking, what kind of difficulties are there, whether we are getting down into the pit. there is a thorn in front of us. What is there? We don't know anything. We are just walking. We are just leading our lives. Since we don't have Shastra behind that. You see, if you take botany or zoology or physics, whatever it may be, what will happen? So you go to class, you study it, and they teach you, right? You understand the things. So likewise, what happened? You gain the knowledge regarding that particular subject. But there is no one to teach this life science or Adhyatmika Shastra. How to lead the life. If you get a difficulty, how to understand it. If you get into a problem, or if you get a health problem or a financial problem, or a kind of a depression, stress, any disappointment happens in your life, how to understand it, how to treat it, how to come out of it. All these things, nobody teaching you. There is no science particularly for all these things, my dear friends. Nothing is designed as such. So that is why, so we need to understand all these things. We need to understand all these things. We all need to become the great and great people. Like, if you just take Mahavira, Gautam Buddha, Jesus Christ, Lord Krishna. So all these people, the great people, they all became the great people by studying the spiritual science, by understanding the spiritual science, they become experts in the life. Likewise, everyone has to understand the spiritual science, and whatever the profession you are into, doesn't matter. Just keep the spiritual science along with you. That's all. That will solve all your problems. So whatever the profession you are into, doesn't matter. Along with your particular profession, if the spiritual science, Adhyatmic Shastra is with you means, so you'll be able to make your life better and progressed faster, and you'll have everything in your life. Whatever you are aiming for, whatever you are wishing, you'll be able to get everything in your life, my dear friends. That is why the spiritual science is, studying the spiritual science is so necessary, is so mandatorily, we need to understand the spiritual science in a deeper sense. So the entire spiritual science, the so-called design, the spiritual science is designed, and it is having the several laws. Out of those laws, the important laws, the great principles of spiritual science we are discussing today, and it is designed with there are 6 spiritual science laws. So it is designed with the 6 laws majorly. There are many other laws, but if you understand these 6 principles of spiritual science, you'll be able to understand the spiritual science in a deeper sense, and you can lead your life very blissfully and joyfully, my dear friends. That is why let us understand one by one. What are the spiritual laws? The 6 spiritual laws, particularly the law of consciousness, the law of reincarnation, the law of karma, the law of constant progression, the law of rapid progression, the law of infinity. Okay, so these are the various 6 spiritual principles, or you can say like the spiritual proposals, or you can say spiritual understandings. These are the 6 spiritual understandings one must understand. So then your life will be progressed faster, and you can reach to the pinnacle of the life. That means you can reach to the highest stage of evolution. Your soul evolution will happen, my dear friends. So all we came to the Earth planet, we taken a birth here in order to learn something, in order to experience, and in order to learn, experience, and then become, we get enlightened. That's what happens. So that is why the part of all this, what will happen is, when you try to understand, we are a soul being, we are a pure soul consciousness. We take birth on this Earth planet, my dear friends. So when we are taken a birth on this Earth planet, so what will happen is, before that, we are a pure soul consciousness. So what will happen is, we will be taking birth many times. We come to the different bodies. We come into the different bodies, and we take different roles also on this Earth planet. Once you take a birth as one farmer, or a one professor, or a business person, or what are the different roles, or actor, celebrity, you'll be taking different bodies, and different roles you'll be playing. So it's not one particular role. So you'll be taking different roles, my dear friends. If you try to understand, there is one great statement you need to understand: Sarvam Kalidam Brahma. what is the meaning of Sarvam Kalidam Brahma? So is a part of, we are discussing about the first law, that is law of consciousness, Atma Siddhanta. That's called Atma Siddhanta. Try to understand this. It's very important. So very important principle, the first principle, first and foremost principle of spiritual science. So we need to understand, by understanding some of the important statements, the part of spiritual science. The first statement is Sarvam Kalidam Brahma. That means everything is a Brahma Padartha. Whatever you are seeing here on this Earth planet, the entire cosmos. So Sarvam Kalidam Brahma. That means everything is a Brahma Padartha. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahma Padartha. Tattvamasi Sheta Ketu. That means you are the Brahma Padartha. You are also Brahma Padartha. I am also Brahma Padartha. So we are all Atma Padartha, Brahma Padartha. So there is nothing different. I am not different, you are not different. Everything is born out of this Atma Padartha. That is what we need to understand. The law of consciousness says, whatever you are into, you are a physical body, even in fact, if you take animal beings, you take plant beings, they also have consciousness. They are also part of the soul consciousness, but they have their different bodies. They take their life and they lead their life, like elephant, rabbit, rat. If you take any kind of animal body, so they also have different bodies. They also take birth in that type of bodies, but still they are a consciousness. This is still their soul consciousness, my dear friends. So when you understand this particularly, the soul takes different forms, different bodies, but everywhere what is there is only Atma Padartha. So that is why this law of consciousness always speaks about the consciousness takes different bodies, but the consciousness is same everywhere. So only thing is the law of consciousness says you are taken a different body in order to what? In order to learn, in order to experience on this physical planet, my dear friends. We all come from other worlds, the higher worlds, to the Earth planet in order to learn, in order to experience, in order to pay back our karmas, in order to experience our karmas and their effects. So that's what in every life it happens. So that is why we all come here. So, for example, if you take a particular person, so he may take a different roles. For example, a movie actor you take. So in Telugu industry, there is a Chiranjeevi actor. So what will happen? He makes a different roles, the different roles in different cinemas, right? Every time he changes his role. That means one time he is Jamindar, one time is in a coolie, one time is in a professor. So there are many roles. There are many roles. From every role, you'll be keep learning, right? You'll be keep learning, and then every role he takes. But what will happen? Ultimately, he is not that role. Once he perform that role, he come out of that movie. So what will happen? Once he go back to his physical life, he is the same person. But in the movie, what happens? He takes a different characters, my dear friends. So different characters he has taken. That means different characters, but he's not that character. Try to understand. He's only a character, is an action, is in a character which is given to him. And what exactly is it? Once he come onto the screen is same. The screen is same. Onto the screen, when the different, so maybe Chiranjeevi, maybe Amitabh Bachchan, maybe anything, any actors comes and goes. Once they are removed from the screen is always there. The screen is always there. That is Atma Padartha is always there. So we are generated from the Atma Padartha. That means we take our birth from the Purnatma. So we have taken the birth from Purnatma. When we have taken the birth from Purnatma, what happened? We are all divided and we came to the Earth planet as a Amshatma, my dear friends. We are discussed in the previous classes. So as a Amshatma, we all come from the Purnatma. So once we come from Purnatma, then we take birth on the Earth planet or any different planet, but we'll be taking births, and then we'll be learning and taking experiences, then we'll be progressing. So that's what happens. But what will happen is every time we come out of that particular Purnatma, and likewise, what happens is there's a cinema screen on that many actors and comes and goes. Actors may be different, but what happens is they come onto the screen and then they disappear. But the screen is same. The screen maintains same. The screen is same. So that screen is nothing but Atma Padartha. From that only all these different patra, different the roles will come, my dear friends. Similarly, say particularly for example, you take one statue. So one, the god statue. What will happen? The first it is in the form of the raw stone. The raw stone is the sculpture. He start making in nose and the eyes and head, everything he makes. So as he start making it, slowly, slowly it becomes the raw stone converts into the basically a statue. It becomes a statue now. So now you try to understand, but this before statue it was a raw stone. The raw stone is nothing but a Atma Padartha. That is a Mula Padartha. That is a source for this statue. Similarly, as we discussed, for every actor, for every the patra that is in the movie, so for everything, the screen is same, people comes and goes. Likewise, we all take different bodies and then we disappear. So we take different body. I take different this body, you take different body, and animal take different body. Every animal will take, I'll have different bodies. But what will happen? They all disappear one day. But again, what happens? Even all these patras, all these things get disappeared from the physical life. Then only one thing which is always existing, always eternally everlasting is that soul consciousness, that Atma Padartha. That's a Brahma Padartha, we can say. So it's always there. It is not disappeared, my dear friends. It's always existing. So that is why we call it as, we try to understand now. The law of consciousness says that this Atma Padartha, this Brahma Padartha is always existing. Only thing is, it takes different forms, it take different shapes, and they come and they do their whatever the things they need to do. They'll do it and then they disappear, my dear friends. So that's what it happens, right? So there's a great statement by Shakespeare. What he says, all the world is a stage. We are all mere actors. We struct and fume. We struct and fume, and then we do our part and depart. So that means we're all mere actors, my dear friends. On the screen, we're all mere actors. This entire planet Earth, if you see, entire life is, if you try to observe, it's a one stage for a drama. So that means we're all in the part of the drama, right? So, but what happens is we become serious here. After coming over here, we become serious. So that's why we need to understand, my dear friends. Never become serious. Never take this life or any other life, the next lives or whatever the current life you are into. So never take it as a so serious thing. For what happened, if you try to understand the real purpose the life takes, the soul takes different lives. I told in the previous classes, it takes so many lives. But what will happen is soul it happens like every life is the new learning, the new beginning for the a soul, my dear friends. It doesn't take anything seriously. With respect to the soul consciousness, every life is an opportunity for her to learn and to experience, to progress. Every life is an opportunity for her. So that is why what will happen is never take anything serious. So when he came to the physical body, we try to take everything seriously. That's what Shakespeare says, the great poet. So Shakespeare says all the world is a stage. It's a stage of drama, stage of a action. We're all performing the action here. So all world is the stage. We are all mere actors. Just we are the actors here. So we act and go. But like see how Chiranjeevi act, he act as a different roles. In one movie he act as a jamindar, other movie he act as a coolie, like other movie he act as a beggar, right? So he does different roles. But is he that the same role in the physical in the real life? He is not that. He is actually a person. Is a person. A Chiranjeevi is separate. But he come to that particular movie, he make a different role, and then he does it part and then he depart. That means you go out of that movie. Once you go out of that movie, he is no more coolie, he is no more a jamindar. But only in that movie only is a actor or is a actor acting as a jamindar or a coolie or whatever it may be. Similarly, my dear friends, all of us come to this earth planet, so we act. That means we take different roles and we do different actions. Okay. So in one time, so I born here, I take my role as a parent, a good parent. Only I try to give good education to my children. I take care of them. I do all that. I don't take any challenges, great challenges. Next lifetime, I want to become a big businessman. I do all that. But from every life, there's a great experience, there's a great opportunity, which we'll discuss in detail in other laws of spiritual science, my dear friends. So try to understand this statement very clearly. All the world is a stage. We are mere actors. We struct and fume. That means we do all actions, everything. We try to do everything in with a severe intensity. We do, and then so we do our part and depart. That means we do our part here. Then finally one day we depart from the earth plane. So that's what the meaning of this. So friends, we need to understand the law of consciousness is very clear. You are a Atma Padartha. You are the consciousness. You are nothing but consciousness. You are taking only different shapes, different bodies, different roles. You always take birth, for your progression, for the progression of your own soul progression. You are taking continuous births on this earth planet or any other planet in this whole entire cosmos, my dear friends. So try to understand this. Then goes to the after taking so many births and doing it, so the Atma Padartha is taking birth as a in a physical form and then taking a lot of learnings and experiences. So it slowly understand that. So it means there is something called the law of reincarnation happens. That means so in one birth it takes one role, the next birth it takes different role. He takes different roles. He play different roles, different shape of the body he takes, and he'll keep doing it. So law of reincarnation speaks about the next law is law of reincarnation. So that's what it comes to. The law of reincarnation means you have always an opportunity to come back again. It's not the only one birth, my dear friends. It's not the only one birth you can learn everything. It's not possible. Okay, so that is why what will happen is the law of reincarnation speaks very clearly. You have so many births, you are coming here and you are going back. So that means in every lifetime, what happens is whenever you come back here, again you take a lot of learning and doing a lot of whatever you do, everything, whatever you do here. So out of that, it's a good or bad, you have experience for your soul. As I told you, there are Arishad Vargas with respect to your soul qualities, the soul characteristics. Arishad Vargas are there. So in everything, whatever the Arishad Vargas are there. So in the enrichment of all the Arishad Vargas, what you do in every lifetime, you come here and take some particular role, and then you will perform it, and then you will grow it. You'll be further growing it. So that's what happens, my dear friends. It's a continuous birth and death. It continues. So that is why we try to understand there is always an opportunity to come back. So this is not the last birth, or you cannot say so at the higher the end of your journey. So that is why this the law of reincarnation speaks about. So always you have an opportunity to come back and then perform and then go back. So likewise, the law of reincarnation is always must. So what will happen is in the previous birth, whatever you have left over, whatever you have done it, and then next birth you will coming back and then you will be taking up. So sometimes you may not take up that because of a lot of diversion happened. Once you come back to the Earth planet, you may forget your actual blueprint or design, as I discussed yesterday. So you may be forgetting your own design, my dear friends. Then you will be entering into different path. So again, for the soul, what happens? Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. It will learn from every instant, from every karma, from every deed. It tries to learn, my dear friends. So that is why, so as a part of law of reincarnation, you take many births, the continuous birth and death will be happening for your soul. The soul will take different bodies, different births, then it's continuously progressing. So in that fashion, what will happen is it also do a lot of karmas. Once you come back to the earth planet, so what will happen is as a physical body, once you take it here, you'll be doing a lot of karmas. So you'll be performing a lot of karmas, and you'll also understand slowly, my dear friends. So by doing karma, you'll also get a result. So there is a karya, there is a karana, there is a karya. There is a cause, there is a effect. As we discussed in the part of law of karma, so the previous class. So always try to understand. So whatever the birth you are taken here, so with that, the role of in the particular role in that particular birth, what you are taken, so whatever it may be, so you are doing some karmas. So when you are doing some karmas, what happen? The results also will come. So the results can be positive, negative, whatever it may be. You have to experience all that. So as we discussed in detail in the law of karma, so every karma is going to give some result. So there is a seed, there is a tree. There is a particular bad karma, bad result. Good karma, good result. So this kind of understanding. So when you are trying to understand this, what will happen is, so you always, every birth, lot of karmas you do, lot of results will come, so that you have to experience with this physical body. And that is why, so we need to understand there's a law of karma. So first thing is law of consciousness. You are Atma Padartha. So you are a pure consciousness, takes different forms, different bodies. You try to understand. So the next second law is, when you take multiple births, you'll have multiple learnings, and then you'll be coming, always you're coming back and going back. So that is the part of law of reincarnation you try to understand. So that means we have several births, not one birth, my dear friends. The soul consciousness, it takes several births in order to complete, in order to learn, in order to complete its learnings and its experiences on this earth planet. And of course, so out of learning and experiences, what happened? There are negative karmas also generated here. Again, whether negative karma or positive karma, it's a great experience for a soul. Actually, the entire life itself, for the soul, what happens is, it's in a play. Friends, it's like a play. So what will happen? We take it as a seriously. When you come to the earth planet, what happened? Now you observe the entire world, right? Everybody is having, like they take a lot of properties, they try to earn huge money, and but what happens ultimately, when you are coming here, you came with nothing. When you are going back, you are going with nothing. So it is a fact, it is a truth. So it means there are no positions with you. Nobody will come, no money will come, no children will come, no parents will come, nothing will come along with you when you are leaving this earth planet. It means you came empty handed, you are going back empty handed, my dear friends. It's a simple truth. Everybody knows about this. But what happens is, they are taking it as serious. When they came to the physical, the grass body, then we are trying to take it as everything serious, my dear friends. So as we are taking everything serious, we also commit a lot of karmas, negative karmas, positive karmas, whatever it may be. And the effects of all those karmas, again, we have to start experiencing. That's what the law of karma speaks. That's why the law of karma, the karma siddhanta, there's a third law of spiritual science we are discussing now. So try to understand. That is why, so the life, the physical life, is a play for the soul. You never think that, I'm suffering, I have so many difficulties, I have a ill health, many things, many situations are, governing our life. But what happens is, we are taking them as serious, and then we are suffering, and slowly some of the people, they lose their lives out of this own. But it's a child play. For the soul, it's a child play. It doesn't matter whether you are taken a birth as a beggar, or whether you are taken as a birth as a king. In one lifetime you are a king, one lifetime you are a beggar. It doesn't matter. It only learns something out of it. As a beggar, what it learns, so it will be, begging for something. One day it get food, one day you may not get the food. Still, he try to live with it what he gets on that particular day. The second day again he will try for it. So likewise, what happened? So there is some particular soul qualities will be enriched there. The patience will be enriched. The kind of the hope and patience, that kind of qualities will be enriched in that particular role of the life. Similarly, as a king, what happens? He get many challenges, from the other, the adjacent countries, the adjacent, the regimes. So you may get a lot of challenges. How to face it? How to solve it? How to solve the issues of the different issues of the people? How to lead the kingdom? So likewise, he has got his own challenges. He's got his own learnings, my dear friends. So that means that role is that role is a waste? Is the beggar role is waste? Or is the king role is greater? No, all are equal, all are same. In every life, in every role of life, my dear friends, the soul will be keep enriched. We have discussed in a lengthy manner the soul stages, as you know. So that means from infant stage to infinite state, one soul has to evolve, means how many lives it takes and how much journey it has to make. So, but in every lifetime, in every stage of the soul, you keep learning, my dear friends. There is no question of going back. So that is why. So the next law of spiritual science comes to the law of constant progression. So that's why we are trying to understand the law of constant progression, my dear friends. For the consciousness, what happened? For the soul consciousness, what exactly matters is from every lifetime. So how many number of lifetimes from the infant soul to when you born as an infant soul. That means in a physical life also we have different stages, right? So when we take a physical body, we are an infant, we are a kid, we are a child, then come to the young as a young person, then become an adult person, old person. So likewise. Similarly, for the soul also, as we discussed in the previous classes, we start as infant soul, then baby soul, then goes to young soul, then goes to mature soul, old soul, then the Vimukatma, that is transcendental soul, then becomes the infinite soul. That is so many stages of soul evolution is there, my dear friends. So, but what happens is in every stage of the soul, in every lifetime, in every life, whatever whenever the soul takes a physical body and a physical life on this earth planet, friends, try to understand from every action, from every karma, what you do. Whether let's suppose, for example, a student, he passed as a student. If as a student, what happened once you came into that planet? Suppose, let's say you are a student now, so you are writing an examination. So whether you pass or fail, right? Whether you got good marks or less marks or more marks, what will happen? Everything an experience for you. So there's no question of any failure, my dear friends. There's no question of failure in anything. So there's nothing as a failure. Everything is failure is a stepping stone for a success. We treat it as at the same time a failure is an indication. A failure is a kind of a kind of opportunity to understand. So I got 10 marks, for example. So with the 10 marks, what happened? I learned something. With I've got 30 marks, so it's not a failure, but I got the knowledge, the kind of a understanding of a particular subject of 30 marks. It means what happened? 10 marks is not wrong, 30 marks is not wrong, nothing is wrong. Everywhere there's some kind of a learning, there's some kind of a progression happens. Similarly, in every lifetime, whatever the birth you take on this earth planet, so it may be any role I'm telling you. So it can be any kind of a role you play here. So roles can be anything. That's what we say. This is all world is a stage. We are only we are mere actors here. We are mere actors. We'll be taking different roles of life, my dear friends. So that is why from every role, what will happen is there is something called progression. So some people always they feel that I failed in examination or I didn't get a job, so they'll be suffering. It's because they don't have spiritual science behind them. They never study the spiritual science. If they understand that we are Atma Padartha, law of consciousness speaks, and if they understand that we have so many births, that it is not only one birth, we have many birth, we have many births, so we are going to take it. So we have no urgency. So then they will also be relaxed, right? The first Siddhanta says, first Atma Siddhanta, law of consciousness says we are a pure Atma Padartha. We are not this physical body at all. That's what the first Siddhanta says, my dear friends. It gives you that kind of wisdom. That way we have to study the spiritual science. Why you are studying the spiritual science in detail, day to day? All last 18 days we have been studying the spiritual science in different konas. The different perspective we are studying every point of spiritual science we are trying to understand. Why do we understand? Like how you study the chemistry and physics with the various chapters, you try to understand. In one day, in 1 month, you can't understand. If you study so many days with a lot of shastra behind it, lot of practicals, if you do, then only you come to understand that particular subject. Similarly here, so we are trying to understand spiritual science with the various aspects, with the various the parts of the spiritual wisdom. We are trying to undergo and we are trying to learn day by day. Then only it will come to you, and whatever you learn, you become that, my dear friends. So whatever you are learning day by day, you are becoming that. So that's what you need to note down. So you are learning today something, then it goes into you and it goes to into every cell of you. Then it is imbibed within you. Then you become that. Otherwise, it's not possible. So what will happen? Many a times you just study and leave it. Nothing will happen. Whatever you study, whatever you learn, try to implement also. So that's why we have something the method called Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, then Atma Sakshatkara. So this is the way we have to progress, my dear friends. What is Sravana? We have to listen carefully. So what is Manana? That means Manana means whatever we listen, we need to start implementing it. So whatever the Nididhyasana. So Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So Nididhyasana means we have to start practicing it. We have to implement in our physical life. So first is Sravana. You have to listen carefully. Manana, whatever you listen, try to repeat that, try to repeat it. Many times repeat that. That is Manana. Okay. Nididhyasana means start implementing in your life. So once you start implementing in your life, you become that. Obviously, you become that. So once you do that, then your Atma Sakshatkara. Atma Sakshatkara, so in part of that, it may be Atma Sakshatkara, it might be physical life, achieving something, whatever it may be, it's possible. Only when you do these three things. So that is why we always need to ensure that whatever we learn today whatever you learn, you try to imbibe inside, you try to repeat many times, listen carefully, repeat many times, and that means repeat within yourself many times, try to repeat once again, then you try to putting into action, putting into implementation, then you become that. You become that. That is possible. So you can achieve that anything on this earth planet. So you can easily achieve it. Or with respect to soul consciousness also, with respect to soul evolution also, the same thing is applicable, my dear friends. If you do meditation practice, you understand meditation, or today you are understanding some spiritual science. So you understand this, you try to repeat it again and again, and you start putting into action. Then what will happen? The effect of it, the result of is that will be achieved easily, my dear friends. So similarly, what I'm trying to say here is, so for everything is a constant learning here. So there is nothing going backwards. So there is no going backward, only the going forward. That is called the law of constant progression. What it is? Law of constant Purogamana Siddhanta. This is called Purogamana Siddhanta. The Purogamana Siddhanta or the law of constant progression says every lifetime is an opportunity. So every lifetime, whatever the role you play on this earth planet, in many roles you take, but every role there is a learning for you. There's a constant progression. There's no question of failure. There's no question of failure. So you have to always. So with that, what happened with that understanding, you'll be peaceful. You'll be happy, my dear friends. So otherwise, you'll be feeling always, like I didn't get this result. I didn't achieve this. Then what happened? You go into disappointment mode. You get depressed. You get a lot of stress, and you will get a lot of stress in the mind. So that's all not required. So there is a constant progression in day-to-day life, from life to life. For the soul, it's a constant progression. There is no question of, so there's regression. There's no question of regression. Only progression is always there in this universe, in the cosmos, my dear friends. Similarly, so when you are progressing, what happens is the progression is happening now. That means you're taking different role and you're learning, and can be any kind of failures or success, or the great successes. Nothing will be, no need to bother about all these things. Then there's a constant progression is happening. But to speed up that progression, so to understand all these four principles, what I told right now, the law of consciousness, your Atma Padartha. So after the law of consciousness, law of reincarnation, you will be taking again and again several births, the same consciousness take several births you are trying to understand. So law of the consciousness, law of reincarnation, and then taking so many births, you'll be committing a lot of karmas. You'll be doing always a lot of karmas, my dear friends. When you come to the physical plane, you can't sit idle here. You have to learn, you have to experience, in order to improve your, the soul qualities, all the six quality additional workas. You want to improve all those qualities, then you must start doing something. So that is why you perform some task here, you perform some karmas here, we understand the law of karma. So then coming back to the law of constant progression, that means every karma, it gives a negative experience, negative karma, positive karma. Even I'm telling you, for example, I told in the previous classes, even the karmas, negative karmas we do, the negative results will come. So what will happen? They become. So I told you all the negative results, whatever it happens, the negative, your karmas, your bad karmas are your papas. That means your sins, what you commit. So your sins are your papas. The negative karmas becomes a diseases, or becomes a any kind of adverse situation in your own life. So you are experiencing them. So this physical body is given for that. The physical body, why you're taking from the higher world, from the higher worlds, from the Purnatma, why you're taking the physical body? First thing is you want to learn and you want to enrich your qualities. Second thing is, whatever while the process of learning you commit several mistakes, that means maybe negative karmas you committed, then out of that the fruits will be generated, negative fruits will be generated. You have to experience those fruits again. For that, physical body is required, my dear friends. You can't nullify these karmas in the higher worlds. There is no provision. There is no question of nullifying or paying back these karmas. You have to pay back again. Coming back to the earth planet, you must do that. So that is why the law of karma says, so the law, as per law of karma, you have to experience every karma and its effect, negative, positive, whatever it may be. Even I said good karma, bad karma, both to experience, you need a physical body. So that's how it goes on, right? So understanding this one, understanding the law of constant progression, then we are entering into the law of rapid progression, my dear friends. That is Yoga Siddhanta. So what happens now? So in order to understand these all these four laws, so when you get into this law of the constant speedy progression, that's called hastening the progression, the rapid progression, whatever you call law of rapid progression, that is called Yoga Siddhanta. When now at this point of time, you need to understand when you add this yoga with you, that means when you start doing meditation, then what will happen is all the other four Siddhantas. So you can easily understand. So then when you enter into this particular Siddhanta speaks that this principle of the spiritual science, the law of spiritual science is the law of the rapid progression, that's called Yoga Siddhanta. With this, what happens is, so when you enter into meditation, when you are doing practice of meditation, what happens? So then obviously you'll be able to understand all these four laws in the easiest manner, my dear friends. Otherwise, what happened? As a physical life, a mere physical life you are taking, every time you're coming, soul is coming as a different physical form here, and you're leading your life mechanically without any spiritual wisdom, without any meditation, without yoga with you. What will happen? All these four siddhantas can never be understood by you. You cannot understand properly. You cannot enter into the kind of a speedy progression of soul evolution. The soul evolution will not be speedy, or it cannot be hastened. It cannot be progress faster. The reason being, you have no meditation with you. You can't understand all these things. So what happens? A normal person without a spiritual background, without any meditation, what happens? If a small issue happened, so let's say you are a student, you failed. Then what happened? Many people I observed. So just for failure in the examination or whatever, they commit suicide. The reason being, he doesn't have any meditation. That is why we say that you give this meditation Yoga Siddhanta. That's why this Yoga Siddhanta always speaks that so everybody must learn this meditation or the spirituality from the childhood. I told many examples in the previous classes. You can refer them. So that means, so giving this meditation or a spiritual wisdom at the earliest age, at the childhood age, what happens? His life will become much more brighter. And then what will happen? He completely understand all the Siddhantas, my dear friends. He can clearly understand he is a atmic padartha, he is atma padartha, he takes many lives, he understands that. And he also does, he says that again every karma will generate some result out of it, negative or positive, whatever it may be. So he is here to experience it. So nothing is serious about it. So that is how he understand. And also he understand every opportunity, everything is an opportunity for him. So everything is a progression for him. There is no regression in the life. There is nothing going back, only going forward only. For a soul, is only going forward. There is no going backward, my dear friends. I told you, even you got a failure, this is not a failure. It's an opportunity to learn something out of it. So you'll be learning, your soul will be learning something out of it. For example, so that is what I'm telling. We all became so serious after coming back to the Earth planet. We became so serious. But in other words, what happened? We are all so delightful and like we are joyful beings as a soul beings. When we are living in the other higher worlds, we are joyful beings. We are the soul beings, and we are the actual, we are the gods, we are the divine beings, my dear friends. But when we came down to the Earth planet, when we descended, what happened? We became so serious on everything on this Earth planet. You try to observe, if somebody passed away, your wife, your children, your somebody passed away, what happened? You get into the complete sadness. And more or less, I observed many people, if the husband die, the she will also die. So like with the kind of the stress, and the kind of a dukkha, so a huge amount of sadness takes place in her. Then slowly she health will also go bad, then she will also leave the body. So this is not the thing, my dear friends. If you understand this Yoga Siddhanta, if Yoga Siddhanta is given to all the people, that's why as a part of pyramid spiritual society, so we are all educating everybody, and as a pyramid masters, we try to teach everyone to learn meditation at the lowest age. From the lower age, any amount of the whatever it may be. So we started teaching this particular, the spirituality and meditation. We started teaching everybody in order to make them understand the true aspects of life. So by to understand all these laws of spiritual science, so one must become a meditator. Then he can understand all these things. Whatever I told, the previous four laws, no one can understand until you become a meditator. So that is why the fifth law of spiritual science speaks about you must become a yogi. See in Bhagavad Gita what Sri Krishna says. So always he says to the Arjuna, Yogi Bhava Arjuna, you become a yogi. You become a yogi, he says. So what will happen? The stage in the spirituality starts when you start practicing meditation. You are a dhyani. So when you become a dhyani means you start practicing meditation. Then what will happen is slowly you understand that you start receiving the cosmic energy, and then slowly you try to understand that you have some kind of a third eye experiences, and astral travel experiences start getting into. So when you start getting those things, then you become slowly from dhyani you become a then you become a yogi. So you become a yogi. Yogi means like he's trying to understand. He's got a third eye power, astral experiences. All this will happen once you become a dhyani to yogi. So then after yogi, what will happen? He try to understand that with the astral experiences, with third eye experiences. So he always says that. So I'm a pure Atma Padartha. So I'm a Atma Padartha. So I'm a Brahma Padartha. You try to understand that. The Rishi will try to understand all that. So then what will happen? So you'll also try to understand that everything is an Atma Padartha. Then become slowly, you get into the stage of Rajarsi, my dear friends. That means, so you become a Dhyani, Yogi, Rishi, then Rajarsi. So Rajarsi means you try to understand that everything is a Brahma Padartha. Everything is a Brahma Padartha. I'm also a member of the others also Brahma Padartha. As a Rishi, what happened? He tried to understand is a pure soul consciousness. He gets all that understanding, all that the kind of a experience with him. Then once he become a Rajarsi, he also try to make a darshan of this the Brahma Padartha, Atma Padartha in everybody's. That's why he become a Rajarsi. The Brahmarsi, what happens? So he try to think that entire universe, entire cosmos, he is there, and the entire cosmos is within him. And also he start teaching all the people, entire world is start teaching, right? So that is why he become a Brahmarsi. So likewise, what happened? So once we start teaching meditation to the all the people, so then they get all these stages one by one, they'll go through, and then what will happen? These four laws of spiritual science you can understand in a better way. Otherwise, without the understanding of yoga siddhanta, that means unless you become a meditator, unless you become a spiritual person, what will happen is you can't understand the other four laws. Other four laws appears for a common man. It's a great misery, great difficulty for him to understand. Even if you can't understand first thing, second thing is going through the all miserable life without understanding without coming to the yoga siddhanta, he can never understand them, and he'll be keep facing the difficulties, and he'll be wasting his life, and he'll be losing lot of valuable time for a soul evolution. What is going to happen? So the soul evolution will get delayed. That's all, and that's also not a big task. The one thing you need to understanding is the soul evolution happens in a different lifestyles, right? It's not going to happen in one lifetime, other lifetime. So it's a continuous evolution. So there's no urgency, but in order to speed up your the faster the evolution of your soul, then one must add the yoga with your life or meditation for your life, my dear friends. So then you'll become a Mahavira, you become a Buddha, like great enlightened masters they all became through the dhyana or practice of their own sadhana, meditation. They all became such elevated masters. They came to that stage, my dear friends. So try to understand. So that is why after this law of the rapid progression, my dear friends, we understand that you become a Brahmarsi. When you become a Brahmarsi with this law of what is Yoga Siddhanta says, add the yoga to your life. Then the rapid progression happens in soul evolution. Then you become a Brahmarsi or you become a Rajarsi. Whatever it happens, so I mean your stage of evolution is increased now. So soul evolution is faster and is increased now. Then you try to understand that. So there are many opportunities, many lifetimes. See, for example, what happened? So you have so many lifetimes and so many lokas, so many births you are taking. So all that the entire spectrum of the entire evolution you get into understanding. So that is why we call it as a law of infinity, my dear friends. Aneka siddhanta. Aneka siddhanta. That's called law of infinity. Law of infinity, once you understand, once you become a Brahmarshi or Rajarshi, whatever the stage of soul of evolution happens, to that stage, after so many births, after so many lifetimes, so then you try to then only you can understand this law of infinity. Otherwise, law of infinity doesn't make any sense for you. So your soul is not evolved. You didn't become a old soul. You are a baby soul, a young soul. So when you are in a young soul and baby soul stage, so you can understand this aneka siddhanta. Law of infinity doesn't come in your understanding. You can't understand that. The reason is once you become a Brahmagnani, once you became a Brahmarshi, what happens is you try to understand that the entire cosmos is ever expanding. There are many lokas, there are many worlds are there, there are many galaxies are there. So possibilities are many. That means infinite possibilities, my dear friends. For example, so if I want to help you, I can do my help infinite. I can do the goodness infinite. I can do the badness infinite. There is no limit for anything. Well, of course, there's a karma, and of course, there's an experience also. Cause and effect is always there. So anyway, you are with your own self-awareness, you must do all karmas, my dear friends. Anyhow, so the law of infinity says everything is infinite. The all opportunities, all the worlds, there are higher number of worlds, there are infinite number of worlds are existing. So that is why the law of infinity comes into picture. When you become a Brahmagnani, you can understand that. So that means, so you become a co-creator, you become a Brahmagnani. So now you can understand the law of infinity. So the law of infinity speaks that the possibilities are infinite in every aspect, physical or spiritual, whatever you say. So that is why, so try to understand the law of infinity here. So now with this, all these principles, my dear friends, if you lead your life successfully, so the entire your life, you try to understand all these principles, what will happen? Your life become a spiritual life, and you can get questions, all your questions will be answered. There is no unanswered questions left over in your life, my dear friends. That is why the entire Adhyatmika Shastra, Adhyatmika Vijnana, spiritual science is divided across all the six spiritual science, my dear friends. So there are many, many other laws, but with respect to the overview of the understanding of the spiritual science, we have put into the six spiritual laws of spiritual science. We try to understand today. So let's start the meditation. With this, we also, so that means one message what we understood, the key message from today's the subject is we have to become a meditator. Then only we can understand all these laws, and we can make these laws clear, and with a clear understanding we can implement in our life only when we become a meditator or a spiritual practitioner. So we must be a sadhaka always in order to understand the whole spectrum of life. So in order to take your life as well with a clear understanding, every life, for example, this life or next life, or whatever the life you are taking on this earth planet, in order to understand and in order to live a joyful and blissful life, out of any situations, it can be any difficulties, whatever it may be. So if you understand these spiritual laws, you can take every life in a meaningful way, and without distracting or without damaging your evolution of the soul, my dear friends. So that's why let's get into meditation now. So start going to the meditation. So let's practice meditation, and we become Dhyani, Yogi, Rishi, Rajarshi, Brahmarshi. Start going to meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, cross your feet, cross your legs. Observe the natural breath, natural, simple, tender, soft, natural flow of breath. Keep observing at your nose tip. No more thoughts. Whatever the thought it may be, it's not important for you. Cut the thought right away and come back to your breath. Be with your natural breath. Your breath is your guru. Breath is your life. It will make you Dhyani, Yogi, Rishi, Rajarshi, Brahmarshi. Everything is possible, everything is achievable with the help of your own breath, your own swasa. Swasa Nasandan. Be with your breath, natural breath. Last 2 minutes, final 2 minutes of meditation. Final 30 seconds, last 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds, final 10 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Place both hands on your eyes for 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly open your eyes. Slowly take away your hands. Yes, friends. So today, the part of holistic lifestyle, we try to understand. So as I mentioned in the WhatsApp, so there no more egg, no more meat, no more fish. Of course, some of you already became masters. Some of you might have already left everything. So that's the great progress you can say in spiritual life. That's one of the minimum, the eligibility for the spiritual life, my dear friends. Living the non-vegetarian, whatever it may be, egg, fish, all the things, whatever it may be. We're not going to touch any kind of a animal protein at all. So the animal protein, which we discussed in the previous time, the part of our class, the vegetarianism, we try to understand in a deeper sense. But I try to give you some more inputs for this. No more egg, no more meat, no more fish. Okay. So let's understand. The friends, first of all, our Indian food, ancient food, Bharatiya Ahara is a purely Satvik Ahara. Always. So right from centuries and the thousands of years are Sanatana Dharma, right? So it has been coming from our rishis and yogis, which has been coming. Meanwhile, like last 50 to 60 years are in this after this modern world, so started growing. So what happens is, so we started following the Prachya Siddhanta. That means the foreign methods and Western methods we started following. So we indulged into all the bad practices, my dear friends. So that's what we need to come out of it quickly. Otherwise, so our entire life will be devastated. And in fact, so the kind of any kind of a disease comes like Corona, what happened? Many people died. It's one thing is out of fear, some people died. Out of the low immunity, many people got infected. And then, of course, the modern medical system, which is handling, it's also not in a great condition. There are no holistic approach. So they also got died. So ultimately, what happens? Of course, the kind of the negative karma, what these people are doing by resorting to the violence against the animals for the sake of food, everybody must experience. So this, especially the corona which has come, which may be infection, but in the sense, with respect to the spiritual sense, if you look at it, so what will happen is the nature want to teach a great lesson to the all the people who are indulging into these kind of practices, my dear friends. So the nature uses this, of course, the corona or whatever you say, is all the nature creation, the entire the supreme intelligence. He knows what to do, what not to do, and when to do. When has to be one thing has to be corrected. In order to correct, something will be destroyed. So it doesn't matter. So all this is a part of creation, the supreme intelligence, supreme plan, which is going on. So that is why even when the corona comes, some of the people who are pursuing the path of vegetarianism, having the sattvic diet, all these people are survived and they have the highest immunity levels within their body, my dear friends. So let's understand some more scientific aspects of this. So what happens is, when you say this last 25, 30 years, what happened is the meat industry is growing leaps and bounds. The way they are growing this meat in a totally unscientific methods, using unscientific method, but they say they are scientific, but I say it is unscientific methods, what they are applying into. So let's say a chicken, probably it will take 2 years to become 2 kgs, my dear friends. 2 years it takes to become 2 kgs in a natural way of growing. What happened? In 2 months, they make it as 2 kgs. By what? By applying steroids and by applying injections. The steroid injections, my dear friends. So they also add the steroid, the part of the food also, right? Whatever they give it to the chicken, then it becomes 2 kg in 2 months instead of become 2 kg in 2 years. Similarly, a pig, so it becomes 300 kgs in 3 years, but because of the steroids and the kind of injections, what happens is it becomes in 3 kgs, 300 kgs in 3 months. Understand this kind of a unnatural growth, right? And same way, cow. So what happens? The cow, it has to become in 6 years, it becomes 600 kgs. But what happens is now in 6 months, they are making it as 600 kgs. By what means? Again, by applying steroids and injections. It's all about the muscles are growing. But what about the inside marrow, inside the bone marrow and bones? Bones are not stronger, no more stronger. Hence, what happens? These animals will have no more immunity against bacteria, any kind of bacteria, any kind of viruses, or against any kind of diseases. These kind of animals, since they have got no more bone strength, the no more the bone marrow is not increasing, is not strengthened. Simply muscles are growing. The flesh is bulging like this. No, so that is why the lowest immunity, bodily immunity they have, then what happen against to that? In order to protect them, what will happen? Again, they'll put antibiotics. So the antibiotics will also go into the physical body. I mean that flesh. Then now you are eating that kind of meat. What will happen to you? You get all the antibiotics applied to them, all the steroids, all the injections, whatever they have put into that body, that flesh. So when somebody consume that, what happens? Entire things comes into your body. So now you imagine what happens now. So once it comes to your body, your immunity levels will go down and you will get acidity. And also when all these chemicals, everything go into your body, then your all the immunity levels will completely they are destroyed. And then you're also prone to the many kind of diseases, bird flu, swine flu, corona, whatever it comes, your immunity levels are very lesser because of this all this the chemicalized food and all the steroids, whatever it was there in the flesh of the animal, everything is gone inside you now. So now you'll also be suffering that kind of any kind of other infections you will be not able to withstand, my dear friends. So that is why you have to understand that how this so much the meat industry is manipulating and making the people to suffer. And of course, so we also need to, as a human being, as a common man, when you're a wise man and you are having highest education, you are pursuing the lot of higher studies, then you must also think scientifically how a hen or a chicken is becoming so much, within 2 kgs, it is gaining a weight in 2 months means, so you should understand, right, what way it is happening. So we are not applying any of our, kind of so-called intellect. We never apply our intellect. Forget about intelligence. At least we must apply some intellect in order to understand this, then come out of these issues first. Okay, that is why we are trying to evaluate everything scientifically. Scientifically, we are evaluating everything, and then once we get that kind of intellect within us, then we will come out of all these bad practices, right, my dear friends. Then the other way to understand is, so what kind of with respect to food for the the all these animals, what are the animals they are what they are doing is, so for every animal to make the 1 kg of flesh, what happens is they supply about 8 kg of the fodder. That means, especially you try to understand the soya beans, all these things, right? So for the sake of food of the animals, what they are doing is they are growing soya beans, this kind of the crops. And what they do is 8 kg of the soya beans, let's say, they make it as a 8 kg, supply to one particular the animal, then it produces 1 kg of meat. So I try to understand so much, so much food they have to supply, and so much things are going on. And in order to grow that food, also what they are doing. So the first thing is, for fast meat production, they are applying all the steroids and injection, antibiotics, right? All these are doing antibiotic injection they are giving. So in order to protect the animals from the all virus and bacterial infections. The second thing, in the part of food also they are playing now. So the food what they are applying to animals, what they do is they try to grow that all that soya beans. These are actually genetically modified foods, my dear friends. So because they also need the food also faster for the animal, for any the chicken or a animal or a whatever it may be, they want to apply, they want to supply the food. So in order to grow so many animals, what happened? You need so much food. So in order to have so much food, you can't take much time. They have no much time. Understand? So they have very less amount of time. What they do now, in the less amount of time, the less amount of span of time, they want to grow higher amount of food, higher quantity of food. For that, what they need to do, they need to find some genetically modified seeds. So they found genetically modified seeds. They grow in a very short span of time, 2 months or so. So they grow the food. How they are growing the genetically modified food? Genetically modified food is actually low. They have lowest immunity against all the kind of the outside diseases and infections, my dear friends. Then what happened? They apply a lot of to grow that kind of food. They apply a lot of chemical fertilizers, a lot of pesticides in order to remove the weeds, and in order to have all these things, in order to protect the crop. What they do, they apply a lot of chemical, lot of chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, fungicides, everything they use, whatnot, weedicides, whatever they use. What happened? Everything go into the food again. So everything go to the food. That food is eaten by the animal. The animal flesh, this person who is eating that entire stuff, entire all these chemical residues which comes into his physical body, then it damages his immunity in a greater way. That means it will devastate his immunity power within the physical body, my dear friends. So likewise, what happens is, in order to, and also the biggest mistake the meat industry or the in general the society is committing, maybe a great leaders, we say great political leaders, great you can say that intellectuals are there. I don't know who is guiding, and whose words who are caring. Nobody knows on this earth planet, my dear friends. Maybe we are technically evolved, advancedly we evolved, all these things happening, but we have never evolved with respect to our consciousness, which we have been discussing so many classes, the spiritual consciousness and the soul consciousness we have been discussing. So with respect to all these things, the humanity has not yet evolved, not yet, they are not trying to evolve. Only some few people are trying to think, and they are trying to evolve with respect to soul consciousness. Then you become the perfect human beings. Now we are not human beings. So most of the people in the common, common people outside in the society, if you observe, they are not human beings at all. They are not the human beings. They are the cruel beings. They are the cruel beings in the form of human, my dear friends. Actually, we are spiritual beings in the form of human beings. We came down, we descended here. But we are, because since we don't have spiritual wisdom, as I said, we have no spiritual science with us, we could not understand anything at all. We never understood our purpose of birth. We don't understand the karmas. We don't understand. So we don't understand the Punarjanma Siddhanta. We don't understand any kind of spiritual laws. We don't have any understanding. That is why what you do. So as you don't understand any of the spiritual aspects, you always do the committing of mistakes. The same thing happening with respect to all the great leaders. We call them intellectuals, great leaders in this entire world. So they are not guiding the society. They are in fact taking the society in the wrong track, in the wrong direction, my dear friends. So many of the hospitals, corporate hospitals, are established with the great amounts of investments. They also don't know what is the real food, what is the actual food. Everybody is trying to mint the money and trying to make the money. I don't know what purpose. When somebody understand, he has so many lives. So as per the Punarjanma Siddhanta, nothing is coming along with you. When you understand this, the actual spiritual wisdom, if someone gets what happened, you start leaving all these unnecessary practices or wrong practices, my dear friends. So you try to understand this. So that is why, so what we need to clearly understand is, one thing we need to understand, we try to understand the spirituality, then everything will be a clear manner. All your life will become much better. So that's why. So what's happening now is this, especially the non-vegetarian industry, is promoted by all the countries, almost all the leaders. So many leaders, so many intellectuals are there, but they are not able to come to an understanding that, and they're not able to really guide the people. So all wrong guidance is going on in the outside society. So that is why let us not fall into the trap of, or the tricks of this, the outside, the money making mechanism. Okay, money making mechanism, and let us not spoil our health in a dangerous way. So friends, so just for the first physical food of animal food, what we are doing, we are devastating the entire forest. What's happening outside? The entire forest, I told in the last classes, the Amazon forest. So most of the Amazon forest, some of the Amazon forest is also destroyed because of what reasons? Just for growing the fodder or the food for the animal livestock. Okay, so to feed the livestock animals, and this animal industry and non-vegetarian industry, they are growing huge amount of by devastating the forest, my dear friends. So it's a so pathetic and it's so sad, the sad part of our human life, I can say. So next, let's understand the to grow the non-vegetarian food, 1 kg of meat you want to make 50 to 60,000 of liters. The water has to be used. Try to understand this. 50 to 60,000 liters for growing 1 kg of meat. So, which is the only point. The only point, if the humanity understands, I can tell you the next minute they have to leave the non-vegetarian without any doubt. But how many people are able to understand? How many people know this fact? First of all, many people do not know at all. 50 to 60,000 liters the consumed in order to grow 1 kg of meat. So this itself is like, you are wasting the huge amount of natural resources, my dear friends. So is it required just for the food? I told many times what are the proteins you are getting from non-vegetarian food? Very much available, and more than that, proteins are available in the form of plant-based proteins. Just switch over to this side. Okay. So then, friends, other thing is eggs. Coming back to the eggs, many of the people are confused. They say that egg is a vegetarian, and why don't we take eggs? It's not so dangerous, all these things. But try to understand whether all the eggs, what the commonly available outside supermarkets and all, they are artificially grown. That means what happens is a hen just produces the eggs, right? How fast it produces? So you all know that. So 21 days, it keeps laying down, and then slowly the things will happen. But what happens now? They are applying the electric shock. They are applying, the kind of injections to the hen or a chicken, whatever the hen. Then what will happen? The eggs comes out of, even hen itself doesn't know it is laying the egg, my dear friends. That is the pathetic situation. Hen doesn't know the egg is coming out of it, but eggs are coming out continuously. So you just try to understand how fast they are getting eggs. So fast, in a few days only they are getting eggs. So that means the fertility happens unnaturally. The eggs comes out unnaturally. By what way they are coming out? By applying electric shock, by giving the hormonal injections and the kind of a steroids they apply, and they get everything out faster because they want to grow industry. They want to make a lot of money. So these kind of things you are going and feeding to the kids and saying that egg is good, egg is great. So how can you say all these things when you are giving injections and the all these so-called hormonal injections and all steroids and all you are giving, and you are giving kind of a electric shock. So with that way, what will happen is, so when somebody is taking this eggs which are produced basing on antibiotics and basing on steroids applied to the hen, then somebody is eating this kind of food. What will happen? I'll tell you. Slowly, their kidneys will get spoiled. They'll get into dialysis on the permanent basis, my dear friends. That is why it's so dangerous. Let's not go into this eggs or whatever it may be. And then coming back to the fish. So many people say fish is good for the heart. If somebody eats the fish, so their heart health will be protected, and they get a lot of, so they keep saying all these things. So they have a lot of omega acids, all these things, and it is good for the heart health, they say. But try to understand, the fish is having a lot of mercury and lead. The material, the particular substances are, the elements are mercury and lead are heavily in quantities in the fish. What will happen if this kind of food is fed to the physical body, or the children especially, they become mentally retarded children. The mental intellect, will not grow. In fact, it will come down the day by day. So that is why. So be careful about all these things. Let's not get into this kind of the unnatural and unhumanic food. So inhumanic food. So let's not go into that kind of practices, my dear friends. Then, as a part of mudra therapy, let's understand what Vayu mudra today. Okay. So the Vayu mudra. So the Vayu mudra is basically in order to balance out the Vayu element within you. So the Vayu element, what happens if excess Vayu element? What happens? So you get a lot of other complications. So the Vayu element is basically in order to balance out, in order to reduce the excessive Vayu element. If it becomes, there are a lot of other issues comes. Basically, the blood circulation will get affected. and you get a lot of pains in your body. Different parts of the body gets different pains, my dear friends. In order to avoid all these things, one must practice the Vayu mudra. So maybe it is slowly, steadily, within 8 to 10 days. The practicing of this mudra, it takes maybe little time, 8 to 10 days, but the results will be definitely coming. So keep practicing this mudra, particularly in order to balance out the Vayu element, Vayu tattva within your body. So how to practice this mudra? See, this is air element, right? This is air element, the fire element. Just touch the the base of the thumb with the tip of your index finger. Then place your thumb on the back of this index finger. Simple, like this. Then other three fingers will be erected upwards. This is called gently place on the bottom of the base of your thumb, your index finger, and then gently place your thumb on the back of your index finger. So this is what the so-called Vayu mudra, friends. This is a formation of mudra, which I am explaining you. So let's see what are the major benefits, right? So when this mudra is practiced, what will happen is any kind of the Vayu accumulated in any part of the body, the Vayu gets accumulated, become excessive, any part of the body, which will be removed immediately, and then any pains out of the accumulation of this Vayu tattva, like some people say some gas is struck, within the body, and then start producing pain. Obviously, some of the times in the heart regions, the chest region, the Vayu element gets increased and excessive gas is formed. What happens? It becomes like a pain. Then you go to the hospital, so-called, the modern hospitals. What happened? They say that, okay, you got pain. Then we do angioplasty, angiogram, all these things. We'll test it. We'll do this. We'll do that. Then slowly, what happened? They find, some more investigation. They find some blocks are there inside your arteries. Then we have to do the remove the blocks and then put the strand. Lot of nonsense will happen. I'm telling you, lot of nonsense. So we have very clear mudras here. We have very good holistic lifestyle. Please follow that. Come out of all these malpractices, my dear friends. So that's why this mudra can automatically cure such kind of all the aches, all the pains of the body. The more amount of gastric, more amount of the Vayu tattva happens, right? So anything like a feeling of restlessness or gas formation. For example, if somebody eats food, after the food, what happens? Suddenly the gas problem, some heaviness in the stomach, the feeling of heaviness, all this happens, right? That time also you practice this. This will take away all that heaviness easily, my dear friends. Then it also reduces Parkinson's, sciatica, paralysis, all these kind of diseases. So basically, which are related with the kind of this Vayu element, Vayu tattva, because of the imbalance of this excess Vayu tattva, excess element of this Vayu. So it causes several diseases. So the knee pains and Parkinson's, sciatica, paralysis, cervical pains, all this will be reduced. So especially the relief from joint pains. It's also achieved by practicing this mudra along with Varuna mudra and Prana mudra. Okay. So Vayu mudra you practice for 15 minutes. For example, I'm telling you, in order to reduce your joint pains, relief from the joint pains. Of course, yesterday one more mudra I have given to you. So you might have got that Sandhi mudra. Sandhi mudra yesterday we discussed. So which is excellent mudra for joint pains. Same time, this Vayu mudra also can be practiced along with Varuna mudra and the Prana mudra. If you practice these three mudras, every 15 minutes, if you do, you can also get a relief from this joint pains, my dear friends. Then a gout is cured with the continuous practice of Vayu mudra. Okay, the gout. Some people say I got a gout, so that's one disease. So it also can be cured with the help of this mudra followed by the Prana mudra, friends. So at the same time, whenever you lift anything heavily, for example, you lift an item with a heavy weight, right? Sometimes you lift it. So after that, immediately you practice this mudra for 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes, which will really bring out of that kind of a fatigue or whatever it creates it in your body. So friends, like this, so any pain in the neck and frozen arm, if arm is frozen, or any pain in the neck, so this can be cured very easily by practicing this mudra along with the Prana mudra. Always keep remembering, keep a note of it. Like every mudra, to be a therapeutic mudra, must be followed by practice of Prana mudra, as we discussed in all the previous classes. For a 15 minutes minimum, you must practice the prana mudra, my dear friends. So that is how. So this is what the things happens. So like this mudra is so essential. So keep practicing it. So let's have some sharing of questions, sharing of experiences, and having any questions we can clarify. Right? Yes, Ashok Babu sir.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yes.
Yesterday, Apo Deepo Bhava
Yeah.
was, yes, sir, very nice, sir.
Yeah.
Apo Deepo Bhava. Be light on us, sir. What is that, sir?
Be a light unto yourself.
Be a light unto yourself.
Unto yourself. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was really each one of we should know, sir.
Correct.
We should know. We should enjoy. We should improve the knowledge about. We must be like that. Actually, life is like that. Today's meditation was good, sir, and also the topic also very nice, sir. That conscious law of conscious,
Yes.
law of the six laws is told nice, sir. Very very essential, sir. Law
Yes.
of incarnation, law of
Reincarnation.
yes, sir. Constant progression,
Correct.
law of rapid progress.
Progression. Yoga
Yes, sir.
Siddhanta. Yoga Siddhanta.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aneka Siddhanta.
Correct.
Yes, sir. These are all we have to. In the class itself, it's not enough, sir. We have to personally concentrate through this, sir. Then only we will come to the natural life, sir.
Correct. Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Practicing. Putting into
Yes.
implementation. Putting
Putting
into
into
implementation.
implementation. Very, very
It will happen.
important, sir.
Everything will happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Inculcate our lifestyle will be the spiritual life, sir.
Yes. Spiritual
Yes,
lifestyle
sir.
and then holistic lifestyle also. Many people I
Yeah.
observe. Many
Yes, sir.
people are taking the spiritual lifestyle, but still their food is not corrected. Their
Yeah,
lifestyle is
yeah.
not
Oh.
corrected.
Yes,
All
sir.
this
Yes, sir. Yes,
happening.
sir. All people are lagging behind this kind of problems, sir.
Yes.
Due to lack of awareness, the people are be lagging behind this problem, sir.
Correct.
They don't
Absolutely
know
correct.
natural
The
living
pure lack
life.
of awareness and lack of wisdom.
Yes, sir. Sir.
And
Yes,
especially
sir.
what happened is, I strongly feel that all this must go into the curriculum of the schools.
Yeah, you are beautiful, sir. What a good concept, sir. Actually,
Curriculum of
from
schools
the
and colleges. So then
basic education, sir.
why to worry? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What happened is there are
Uh,
money making mechanism outside going on.
Mechanism. Yeah, true, sir. True,
Huge
sir.
way. Right?
Exactly, sir. Fact, sir. This is
Everybody want to make money. Everybody want
yes,
to
sir.
make money out of
Yes, sir.
all these bad practices. I do not
Yes, sir.
understand
Uh,
because this since they are not spiritual people, they never understand the law of consciousness, the law of reincarnation.
Reincarnation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They never understand
No,
because
yes,
they
sir.
never practice the meditation. They never became Dhyani, Yogi, Rishi,
Yes,
Rajarshi,
sir.
Maharshi.
Those
They
who
have
are
no
framing the
stage of
syllabus,
life.
sir.
They have no stage
Yes,
of
sir.
evolution.
Sir, those who are framing the syllabus,
Uh,
they have big villages like institutions, sir. Big villages like institutions.
correct.
They are the chairperson of the making what law. What is that syllabus?
Correct. Correct.
They themselves itself they are businessmen, sir.
Correct. Correct.
Then where this spiritual and natural life, the way of life,
Correct.
happy life.
Yes.
Even politicians also like that. Even the institutional whose educational institutions were maintaining,
Correct.
even they also commercialized. So this is how, sir. We what
See,
their
ultimately, no, that's what I'm telling.
yes,
So,
sir.
of course, it can be anything. Like the person may be a chairman and he's a multi-crore millionaire or billionaire.
Yes, sir.
Ultimately, if you
Uh,
really look at his own life, the
yes, sir.
way he traveled from the one stage to other stage,
Yes, sir.
because his soul
Yes,
evolution is
sir.
not greater. His soul evolution is
Ah, ah.
his soul
Yes,
evolution
sir.
is not at a higher stage. What happens is,
Yes, sir.
though he's a billionaire, but he can
Yes.
never understand the consciousness
Consciousness. Yeah, yeah, sir.
because he doesn't have this awareness on the soul
Yes,
consciousness. So spiritual wisdom is not there with him.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
As
sir.
long as
That
it is
is
not there, what
yes,
he
sir.
does is only he makes money, and okay, at
Uh,
least he's making money. Whether he's
yes.
carrying this money or a property or the kind of the great empire what he creates along with his life,
No.
when he's passing through the life, When he passed away, what happened?
No,
Nothing comes along with him.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. True, sir. True, sir. Exactly,
If
sir.
you understand this truth, at least, I do
Yes,
not know. So that is why
yes,
what
sir.
happened is, at least if you
Yes, sir.
start teaching this spiritual wisdom in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one or other place, in one
Yes,
family,
sir.
another family, slowly
Yes,
the
sir.
awareness starts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And tomorrow, the same child becomes a chairman of
Yeah.
a college or chairman of a great company.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. True, sir. True, sir. True, sir.
Then the kind of transformation begins.
Begins. Definitely, sir.
Yes, that is why with
Definitely,
the
sir.
hope, with the kind of a faith, in
Yes,
our
sir.
own Sanatana Dharma, we must
Yes, sir.
continue doing it. We must continue doing this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
See, Bhagavad Gita is wonderful, epic,
Yes,
wonderful guide, life guide. So
yes, sir.
it is learned outside, not in the
Yes,
schools
sir.
and colleges.
Yeah, yeah, sir. It is not a mandatory, sir, in the schools, sir.
It's
If
not
they
learned at
mandate,
all. No, if
yes, sir.
someone learn this Bhagavad Gita itself, that
Yes,
itself
sir.
will teach everything, whatever I'm talking for so many classes now,
Yes, sir.
21 days I'm talking now, for the
Yes,
last
sir.
18 days, this
Yes,
can
sir.
be learned so easily, so effectively, if Bhagavad Gita
Yes, sir.
only given to the children.
Sir.
Nothing else required.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because Bhagavad
Yeah.
Gita talks about the soul, the
Yes, sir.
consciousness,
Yes,
the
sir.
Punarjanma,
Yes, sir.
Siddhanta, the law
Yes,
of karma, whatever I
yes,
taught so far, everything is spoken there. And it
yes,
also speak about the food, what kind of food
yes,
to be taken, and
yes, sir.
the level of the about the food, the lifestyle, everything
Yes,
is
sir.
explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning,
Namaste,
sir.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I'm having exam, sir. But I
Ah,
understood today's class, sir.
okay. Good.
Okay,
So
sir.
understood. So write the exam with the consciousness, with the awareness. You write the exam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So put your complete concentration and awareness.
Okay, sir.
No other thoughts in the mind. Empty state of
Okay,
mind.
sir.
Keep writing it. Everything will happen.
Okay, sir.
So no more fear. Nothing. That's all. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, ma. Namaste.
Sir, thank you very much.
Yes.
Lots of gratitude for explaining the laws of spirituality in such a simple and lucid style. I mean,
Yes.
it was so interesting and so easy to understand. And I liked your statement, whatever you learn, you become. So, yeah, I think we should start not listening, only Shravana, if we do and keep quiet, it will not happen. So
Yes.
we should do Manana and we should Nididhyasa. All this should be there
Correct.
every day in every moment of our life to
Correct.
evolve spiritually. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, ma. Definitely.
Namaste, sir.
Yes.
Namaste. Thank you very much, sir. That spiritual way, how we have to improve ourselves, you have taught. It is very nice, sir. But so many people, why they are turning to the wrong path, really, we don't know, sir. You are giving very good awareness, sir. Already we are vegetarians, so no problem. But it is very difficult to change to those who are eating non-vegetarian to vegetarian, no, sir. Even my son, now he started eating outside non-vegetarian, sir. I couldn't change him.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I feel very bad, but he is into that. But really, I feel how to change this kind of people. I
So
feel
what you
bad.
need to do, what you need to do is, if he is if he is in a listening mode, if he is able to listen to you, you can explain
Okay.
some of these some of the facts and figures. You can explain it.
Ah,
One,
yes,
okay. If he is
yes.
really having that kind of attitude to listen, okay.
Okay, sir.
Other thing
Yeah,
is,
sure.
if he is a little conscious or if he is a little sensitive,
Okay.
what you can do is, you can take him to the butcher shop, that a slaughter shop.
Okay, sir.
So that how they are slaughtering it.
Yeah.
brutal killing what's going on. So if it all is a sensitive person, I'm telling you, maybe because of his bad companion and all, he might be getting into that kind of habits, non-vegetarian habit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
But, so if he is a little sensitive person, you can take to slaughterhouse and show him. He never eat again.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Number
sir.
one. Number two, if he is able to listen to you, then you can explain all these facts and figures which I said today. And of
Okay.
course, in the previous class, the part of vegetarian class.
Okay. Yes, sir.
He can, if you understand, no, then if he is able to listen and understand, then slowly he'll also think. He'll also think and make some kind of a the reasoning inside his mind. Then slowly he'll leave it and he'll come out of it.
Yeah, that
But we
that is
we must
great.
always try. Never
Ah,
leave your trial. Keep trying it.
okay.
Keep trying it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Surely, sir.
Yes.
I am so lucky to get like you, Guru, like
Yes.
you are taking us in very good path, sir, and you are very dedicated for everything. I want to be in that in my lifetime.
Sure,
Thank
definitely. Mahavatar Foundation is there for you to serve the humanity in whatever the manner you wanted, you can serve. No problem. So we'll
Okay.
be keep conducting workshops. So try coming to some physical workshops also will happening in Bangalore. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So try
In the group you
attending.
will, in the
Yeah,
group you will.
I'll be posting it whenever. Now there is
Okay.
a one more workshop going to happen, but it's sometimes they'll be in Telugu also. So because many of the
Telugu, we are
pastors,
Telugu people, sir. We
yeah.
know Telugu.
Then it's okay. Then it's in that case, a very good workshop. Next September 24th, one day workshop is there. On
Okay.
the
I am in Bangalore, sir.
yeah,
In Bangalore only it is happening.
Bangalore only. Yes. So
Okay.
the very big program, one day full program we are doing on September
Okay.
24th. So I'll be posting it. Then you can definitely join.
Yes, sir. Surely, sir.
So likewise, and
Surely.
also you do the service. You do service means what? You
Mm.
start teaching this and make a group of people. Then I come and teach them. So that way, it will be.
Mm.
So it's a one good seva. So good service you are
Okay,
doing
sir.
to the humanity.
Surely, sir. I am interested. Yeah.
So do that.
I. Okay,
Take
sir.
up in your area whatever your
Mm.
relatives who is interested. So just you tell them
Okay.
your physical health, your mental health, and then comes to finally spiritual health. So at least physical and mental health, you just go through these classes. You tell them, that's all.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you talk
Surely,
only
sir.
spirituality, they may not listen to you. Yes, many people, spirituality means now why at this age, why not the later age, all this they think.
Yes, sir. So many are thinking like that. Actually, in the small age itself, if they link to like this spiritual path, their older age, they will be very happy, sir. So
Yeah.
many of them they are telling now what is the why I have to do meditation after 60. After 60, it is not possible, sir.
No, even
After
is a body itself cannot sit for a long time. What meditation you can do?
Yes, sir. From the small age, if they start doing it,
Yes,
surely in 60, above 60 and all, they can do the peaceful life.
yes.
But they are not understanding really, sir.
Even
Thank you,
some
sir.
even many times what happen, we don't need to worry also. Somebody is not listening also, don't worry. Because I will tell you, there are so many soul states I explained you.
Yes, sir.
The person who is in the infant soul or a baby soul or a young soul will not
Yes.
listen to you at all.
Yes, sir.
He may be your own family member. Don't worry at all.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes,
Okay?
it is happening like that only.
Your husband, your children, or
Mm.
whoever it may be, which are around
Yes.
you.
Uh,
You are a unique soul. You are only the one soul on this in the
mm,
entire universe. You are only
mm.
the unique being.
Yes, sir.
You are not going to be equal, though they are family members, they are your own neighbors, are dear and near ones, loved ones. There is no connection with respect to the soul at all.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All what you have connection is only the kind of physical connection. These are all physical connections as a family, as a friends, as a near and dear one. They're all physical connections. With respect to
Okay.
soul consciousness, everyone is having unique path. It's a
Yes, yes, yes.
unique path, your own path, spiritual path, and your own life journey is happening now. That is why,
Yes, sir.
see, the soul which you are talking, the body, maybe physical body, but the soul consciousness, the soul level of the stage of souls, that particular stone, it will never listen to you. Whatever you tell good things or great things, it may not listen. It need not listen also.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
we
sir.
don't need to
Yes,
get any disappointment.
yes, sir. But sometimes I get disappointed because this is not good. We know very well, as a husband or son are not listening means, oh, they are going in the wrong path. We are feeling very bad, and our consciousness is coming down. So, what is
Yes.
this? It is happening.
No,
This
no.
disappointment.
That is where that is where you have to apply the spiritual wisdom. That is where you have to apply the
Oh,
spiritual wisdom. You should
okay.
immediately get the conscious, the awareness about yourself first. So
Yes.
you have to feel that I'm a Atma Padartha. Okay.
Okay.
I'm living this
Okay, sir.
physical body due to some Karana Karya Sambandha. Karana
Mm.
Karya Sambandha. That means due to some karmic debt or karmic bondage, I came and born into this family. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
You are just you are just trying to pay back your karmas, and you are trying to spend in that family. Of course, be happy, love everyone, because
Yes.
everyone is in a soul consciousness. Everything is an Atma Padartha. Everything is a Brahma Padartha, even including your pen and pencil, or your duster, or your the whatever the items, chair, everything you have to love everything. The reason being, everything is a God. Everything is God. Everywhere there is a God.
Okay. Yeah.
Never hate anybody. Only
Yeah.
you start teaching if they are able to listen. Okay.
Yes.
So what happened? I'll tell you. So now you came to this class. If I am not available for you, you can't learn all these things, right?
Yes, sir.
If I don't take up this initiative, you can't learn all these things. Or so
Yes,
many
sir.
classes you are learning many things. That means, so I started teaching, so you started learning. So that is how, so there are people who are waiting for you.
Mm.
May not be in your family, maybe in adjacent family, or maybe within your area. Some people are waiting
Okay.
for you to learn.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So
Sure.
give your entire, your wisdom, your efforts, put onto them. Then what happened?
Oh,
That one particular soul get elevated. Then what will happen? The one particular soul get elevated, the consciousness gets improved. The elevation happens. The earth also gets some kind of a vibrational elevation. That means its frequency get raised.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Likewise.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Hemant, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have one clarification, sir. I wanted to understand this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is with respect to Karma Siddhanta and free will.
Free will. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Or the purpose of now our current existence. I can always say, sorry, sir, I'm just trying to debate it out because I want to understand it. It is very interesting, so don't mind. I'm
No
trying to
issue. No
debate
issue.
on this
Yeah,
topic.
carry on. Continue. Yeah.
Sir, when you said that there is a soul plan and the soul comes with a desire or for a purpose, what has to do, right? Now, after coming into this world, the soul feels, okay, there is something else which I have to contribute, or I have to, revolutionize, or I have to bring value to the ecosystem. Okay. Now, every soul can always feel, every individual can say, okay, this is my soul plan, and leave doing nothing. Or I can always tell that, okay, no, this is my soul plan, I want to achieve something, or I want to contribute back to the universe, or I want to contribute something for it, right? Now, for that to be done, one, I have to always have a goal, I have to have a plan and execute it.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Now, if I want to say, no, I'm spiritually aligned and I want to take everything calmly, I want to take things, then things will not progress, right? I have to have a plan. I have to be, at times, I have to be aggressive. I have to calm down. I have to have a plan. I have to push people. I have to do it myself. Right? I'm just confused because are this not contradicting? Now, I'll take one example, sir. So, the reason I'm asking you is this, okay? Now, I have got a sole purpose of helping the cows. Okay, I want to. What message I've got is I have to build 100 goshalas in 10 countries. That is my goal. That is the purpose which has become, right? Now I have, okay, very good, right? English speaking wise, thought process wise, everybody feel it is nice. But how do you bring it practically? Now, for it to happen practically, I have to work hard. I have to collect money. I have to ask for donation, or I have to earn myself, and then only I can do it. Now, if I have to do that, then I have to have a plan of how will I make money, because I will not be able to go build a goshalas like that, right? Example.
So,
But if that is there, then I have to keep working or I have to drive something, right? So now I hope you understood my question,
that
sir.
means what you are saying is the soul, whatever the purpose of your life, you want to fulfill that means you need to do some efforts. That's what you are telling. Correct, no?
No efforts. Now, will that's correct, but will that effort look like, am I behind money?
No.
If I have to do that, I need money. But if I have to, so I am now confused. Should I, without money, those things cannot come to
So
reality.
try to understand one thing. So when you are, when you came to this planet with so the purpose of life, the design, a blueprint is there with you. So it may be one task, it may be one particular achievement, or it may be a kind of a social work you came to the Earth planet. You want to, learn the something called the karuna, the kind of a empathy or a sympathy. You want to practice that particular quality in that particular life. What happens? You open a orphanage, or you started opening the kind of a the hospital, the free of cost, you try to provide the vaidya or medicine, whatever it may be. So somehow what happened, that particular sole purpose, the kind of a particular purpose you came here, you started doing your efforts towards that. But many of the times what happened, it will miss out. In the beginning itself will miss out. The reason being, so you are a like in an infant soul or baby soul or young soul, what happened? Your purpose, you are not fully understood. You may understand your purpose later stage in the life. Later stage in the life, maybe after 30, 40, 50 years, slowly you get into your own inside. It will start. Inside it will start saying that no, I want to do this. Like looks like it is giving a lot of satisfaction to me. It look like it's so meaningful to me. So likewise, then you slowly start doing it. See, in that lifetime, you may do little bit. No, may not be so much. Maybe little bit you achieve. Still, what happened? No urgency, because there is a Punarjanma Siddhanta, the law of reincarnation. Once again, you come back. There is no urgency at all. So there is no urgency. Just again come back and do it. What doesn't matter. At the same time, see, the most of the times we need to remember only one thing is the next life what you are going to take. It all depends on the current life and current karmas. So if your current karmas are the final, whatever the mindset, what is the kind of the bhavana which is within your mind at the time of leaving this physical planet on this physical earth, so that is going to decide your next life. The reason being you are carrying so the kind of vasanas, that kind of the inside bhavanas and inside feelings and that kind of experiences what you have at the time at the time of the death. What will happen? This will be carried forward. Then again, in order to fulfill them, again you come back. Again you come back. For achieving something good, you are behind money and you're not behind money. It all depends on your attachment to it. See, money is the thing related to this physical world, first of all. It's not related to the upper world or the soul world or in a spirit world. It is never related to the high frequency worlds. It's related to this earth actually. Whatever the money you earn, if you are using for a good cause, for example, our Patriji, our Guruji has built so many pyramids by promoting everybody to contribute. In fact, by telling them everybody to donate. The biggest pyramids, we have done so many yagnas, Dhyana Mahachakras. So likewise, Dhyana Mahayajnams, we have done so many. That all the times what he says is, everybody tell very clearly that you have to donate. Put your little bit earnings, put into this. He always says that. So there's nothing wrong in doing some good cause and good karmas, taking money or earning money. And of course, your achievement is finally you're doing something good for this earth, for this humanity, or for the animal kingdom or a plant kingdom. Somehow something is good is happening, and some kind of the progression happening from your side, from you to this earth planet is always good. It doesn't matter whether you are making so much money or less money, or you're getting money from other sources, these sources. But ultimately, your focus is not on the money. Your focus, your attachment is in order to achieve something good. Okay. As long as your mind and your consciousness is, fully focused on that particular aspect or the end result, the money, how it comes, how much you make, of course, not wrong ways. Okay. Try not doing in wrong ways. Unlawful manner. That is warranted. It's not going to be permitted. As per the law of karma, I tell good karma, bad karma, mixed karma, right? I also explain the mixed karma. So try not doing it. So go in a lawful manner, legal manner, rightful manner, get money, whatever the means it may be, aggressively work, doesn't matter. Get that money and you are fulfilling some great cause on this earth planet. Whether it is going to help the planet, going to help the environment, going to help the animal kingdom, helping the human kingdom or plant kingdom, the good cause is always good. So making money, not making low money, higher money, it doesn't attract you. It doesn't add any karma to you. No bad karma attached to you.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. This gives me a lot of clarity. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Right. So fine. Friends, anybody want to share anything? So let's we'll be closing the session today. Right. So thank you, friends. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining the session. So thanks for giving opportunity for Mahavatar Foundation. So we'll meet once again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.